We got a great show for you today. I'm going to walk you through how to create your own custom rendered images in WWE 2K22. From finding the right size image, editing and customizing it in Photoshop, giving you those cool details, and then applying it to the superstar in the game. I have all of that for you today. Let's go. The first thing that we want to do is we want to be able to head into Google. We're going to find any rendered image that we can use for Superstar. And today we are going to be using Edge. We are going to be looking for the brand new updated 2022 version of Edge. The important piece to know right off the bat as we get started is that you need an image of the Superstar that's almost full framed. You want an image that you're going to see 3/4 of their legs. Anything that's going to be essentially a portrait or anything from like the waist up, chest up, isn't going to work based on the sizing that we need to be able to upload it properly so that it looks exactly the same like the renders in game. So luckily I found a rendered image of Edge with his red jacket that he came out to with on SummerSlam. So we're going to use this one. So download it and save it yourself. And the way I search for all of these for any superstar, I even tested stuff out where I was looking once for Kevin Owens, and under Google Images, I just searched for WWE Edge 2022 render. We need a transparent background for them too to make life a lot easier in Photoshop. So once we are in Photoshop, create a brand new file, and we want to set the dimensions for it to be 1024 by 1024. And just ensure that the background is set to be transparent. Now that we have a canvas we're going to work with, we're just going to drop in our rendered image of Edge. Now, if we do nothing else and we save it here and we leave it just as is with Edge being the full frame, this isn't going to work. We want to be able to have a little bit of extra wiggle room at the top. Yes, the dimensions are correct, but even having this in here, there is a chance that with any of these renders, they end up coming out too tall when you look at like the whole roster of images. So we need to shrink them down a little bit. But how do you know how far you're supposed to shrink them down? So looking at the y-axis at the top, I go over to the number 8 and I want to drag it down till we get to 8,000. The reason I do this is because that acts as where I want the mid part of Edge of the rendered image. I want kind of like where their elbows or where their chest line is going to be. That's where I want the middle to be of the image. So once we upload it and once you add it to Edge in the game, he will come out the right size. So once we have this as our ruler, as our line, we can shrink Edge down a little bit so we find a nice sweet spot. And as I stop here for a second, you can see we have enough headroom there at the top. His legs are still showing, so this is going to come out great. So you can totally stop here and just move on to the next steps. But what we're doing in Photoshop 2 with all of this is I'm going to walk you through just some real basics here if you want to be able to have the image pop a little bit more. At the very top, I select filter and then I go to camera raw filter. This allows you to adjust manually a lot of the settings for your image. So you can see what I'm doing here where I'm just tweaking the texture on it and the clarity so we can see a little bit more of that jacket. I just adjust the vibrance a little bit more too. And the reds for either the saturation, the luminance for it of the jacket, just adjusting the red tones here so it pops a little bit more. And the blacks, we bring those down and adjust the shadows and the highlights too. Doing this can add a little bit more dimension and allow it to really come off really nice when you're gonna have it in the game. Now, the other thing we do is that we right click on our layer and we add a drop shadow. You can adjust the drop shadow percentage here of the opacity to see how much you want. It's not going to make a huge difference. The other thing that we add in here is an inner glow that's going to be white. We add in an inner glow and you just want to have it on a very, very low opacity. I have this set to about 3. And I do this because it gives him just an extra little bit of pop around his shoulders and his jacket so that it will stand out a little bit more. And those are all the Photoshop adjustments that we make here with this image. So we're going to save as a PNG file and we are going to make sure that we have maxed it out for the high quality too. Okay, now we need to go over and upload the image so that we can get it into the game. To do this, open up your browser and head over to WWE2K.com/upload. If you haven't already, you will need to register. You will just need to sign up to have an account to be able to upload images to the 2K servers. Once you are logged in, you will come to the default screen where it just has the black outline here and just says upload images. Click on that And then you may need to zoom out on your display. I know I've had to do this numerous times where it's not showing me the option for custom portrait. We zoom out a little bit and you'll see it as the very last option there at the bottom for custom portrait. Select that and then select the image, in this case, Edge, and then just hit upload now. We agree and submit, and that's it. The upload is pretty instantaneous. If it's not showing up for you right away, just click down on the right stick to refresh and just keep hitting refresh until it finally pops up. Now within 2K22, we head over to community creations and we go into image manager, and you should see the custom image portrait of Edge, or the one that you created. And all we do is we just click on it, we want to download it. And now we have downloaded it directly to our game. It's not uploaded to the server, so it's not shared with anybody else. You can do that after you have downloaded if you want to, and then just upload it to the community. And next we go over to creations under Superstar. We're gonna edit our custom superstar and locate the superstar that you're attaching for the render. In this case, we are using Edge. Go down to his personal information and custom images. And at the very bottom, you should see the new custom image that you created. We simply save it all. And then going into exhibition to set up a new match where I have Edge versus Finn Balor, you can see the sizing and proportion is accurate. It looks good. It pops. We got good color here. And I'm really, really happy with the way this turned out. And if this helped you out, consider hitting the like button. It helps us out a ton here on the show, and click right here because we have more how-tos and walkthroughs for you. So click right there and I'll see you over on the next episode. Bye.